Okay, here we go. The moment everybody's been waiting for. Very excited for this. Derek Stevens, kind enough to join us here in studio, the owner and CEO of Circa Sports and the Resort and Casino right here in downtown Las Vegas. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. It is an honor. It's a pleasure to be with you fine gentlemen here today.
Back at you. Let's not beat around the bush here. The floor is yours. You're going to make the announcement now for Circa Survivor. Derek, what's the guarantee?
Well, first I will announce we're going to put our commercial out. It comes out later on today.
Okay.
And Paul Howard does not have to worry. He's in it. He's in it. Just like for so many people on Nestlé, just like so many people around the country, we've got you guys leading off. He's hitting lead off here in this commercial, so we're very proud of being supportive of Follow the Money.
The text messages have not stopped every single day from this guy. I can't believe they cut me from the commercial.
I didn't say anything. It's outrageous. I have a problem with it. So
Yeah,
fine.
no,
I'm
we're-
honored that they had me in there. Although I got the big game experience. I mean, if they were going to cut me, there was going to be hell to pay. Come on, the bright lights are on.
Okay.
Well, we are ready to go. I think this year is going to be a pretty epic year. We can get into it why I think that, but
Okay.
I'm here talking about Survivor. I know Mike Palm's going to be in studio here shortly to talk about the Circa Sports Millions. Circa Survivor last year, we guaranteed $6 million. This year, and remember, we got smoked by $1.9 million. So we had three
The overlay,
options.
yep.
Either make it bigger, keep it the same, or go back. Well, going back wasn't really an option. Going up after losing $1.9 million on this thing, that didn't really make a lot of sense. So we're staying with the $6 million. Now, in total with our contests, we are guaranteeing $12 million this year. So we're bumping it. Last year was a total of 10. So this year we're going up to $12 million.
Okay.
Now, I think some of the reason is there's some momentum. Football contests were great last year. I think they're going to be better this year. I think we've got a full capability of Canadians coming to visit Vegas. And I think people had a lot of fun. So I think that's why we kind of wanted to bump it up to a total of 12. As far as Survivor goes, you got to go 20-0 if you're going undefeated. So we did not add a week. I know there was some speculation about adding a week in one of the early weeks, but we're not doing that. We are keeping the contest fundamentally the same, but with a couple of kind of small tweaks. So last year, if you remember the $1 million bonus, you had to hold back on the prior year Super Bowl winners and Tampa, Kansas City, and you had to use them in week 20. Well, we had a little concern that what happens if you hold back on a Super Bowl participant from the year before and they go to the last week of the season and they sit the quarterback. It could have happened. Be a lousy way to get knocked out of $1 million bonus. So what we did is we changed it this year, and we're taking last year's two Super Bowl teams, the Rams and the Bengals. You are eligible for the $1 million bonus as long as you don't play those two teams throughout the whole year. It adds a very significant amount of game theory into how you make your selections. So if you go all the way through the year and you go undefeated and you never take the Bengals or Rams, you're eligible for the $1 million bonus. Now, of course,
you can't use them once from week 1 through week 20.
Correct. So you're going to have a decision on week 2. Week 2, the Rams are sticking out right at you. Week 2 is a big potential play for the Rams. Bengals, on the other hand, not so much. I mean, the AFC champs, they got dealt a schedule that's brutal. I mean, on my board.
Yeah,
when you look at what's going on here,
Look at this thing.
Look at the Bengals going. There's only 2 weeks you're even going to even look at the Bengals. It's going to be week 7 or week 9. That's the only way you're going to play this on this board. So, I think giving up the Bengals may not be that significant of a give. The Rams is a give, though. So you got to weigh it out.
Yeah.
You going for the $1 million bonus? You're just going to be one of the 5 like
It's a
last
good point.
year.
Right, yes.
Because the Bengals schedule, and by the way, that division and the AFC in general is going to be so difficult. Maybe not a lot of great spots to play them in anyway. But the Rams last year with their schedule, they were one of they had like 6 weeks where okay, they're going to be favored by 13 here, 16 here. I'll bet the Rams now. But if you avoid the champs this year, interesting little spin on it. Okay.
So, I mean, think about what happened last year with our guy Billy Chippis and some of the crew.
Yeah.
3 out of the 5 participants that went undefeated, 3 actually, split that $1 million bonus. So it's just a little bit of a tweak and puts you in a position where you're going to make some decisions early and late.
You already went through it. You're telling me there's only 2 scenarios where you would use Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's schedule is brutal. When you look at the board, look at the last 6 games of the year. You'll never take them. They're probably going to be underdogs. This schedule Cincinnati got dealt is absolutely brutal.
How about week 1 at home to Mitchell Trubisky?
Well, you've got some scenarios, but I mean, really, it's really week 7 and week 9 for the Bengals, where you're having at home against Carolina or at home against Atlanta. Those are the 2 that kind of stand out. And week 7, I'm not even so sure I'd want to do that. You got the Chargers at home against Seattle, and that looks a little more juicy to me.
My God, you are fired up today, man. So you spent how many hours already studying this bad boy, the schedule overall?
Oh, yeah, this board is so good. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you. Like I told you, it was an honor and a pleasure. Here you go. These are going to be some parting gifts for you guys. This is your pocket schedule.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have these in the gift shop yet, but they're coming.
$19.99? Gift shop, $19.99. These are must-have.
Can you take us behind the scenes here about the discussion to keep it at $6 million? Because, again, you talked about that last year. You had 4,100 people, give or take, in it. So you had about a $1.9 million overlay. That means that money had to come out of your pocket to pay all the winners that were eventually going to take down this contest. What was the conversation like with Mike Palm, Matt Metcalf, others here who run the book, Chris Bennett?
Yeah, the first year of Survivor, because of the first year we did it, we put $1 million guarantee, and we did like $1.1 million. And then effectively what happened was I bit off more than we could chew, going from $1 million, $1 million up to $6 million. But we had pretty good growth from $1 million up to $4.1 million. So we think the trend's going to continue. We think last year, unlike year 1, there were a lot of people knocked out early in the very first year. And that kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yes. Last
year, we had an awful lot of people that made it all the way through, and you can start thinking about, the promised land's only a few more weeks away. So we kind of think there's going to be some good growth in this because this thing is so much fun.
Is the max 6 again?
Ooh, that's the second tweak. The max will be 6 entries at any point in time up until opening Thursday night. Now, on the opening Thursday night game, if you have an entry that gets knocked out, you can rebuy and jump back in on that Friday before the weekend. The max is 6 entries going into the Sunday. So theoretically, let's say theoretically on the opening Thursday night game, and I'm not necessarily saying that I advocate this, but it's a theory. You could go 3-3 on that opening game. You lose 3 entries. Now you're guaranteed 3 carry over to week 2, but then you can refill and buy 3 more.
What if you use all 6 on the Bills and they lose?
Well, if you lose all 6 on the Bills, and the Bills lose, if you'd like, you can buy 6 more.
You can buy 6 more.
Yeah, you have a maximum of 6 going into the weekend.
Okay, so for people who come out and sign up in August and they don't live in Las Vegas, and they would do that, right? Let's say in theory, and they have a proxy. Do they have to come back to Las Vegas and sign up again before Sunday's kickoff, or since they signed up once, they can have the proxy sign up for them again?
No, the proxy can never sign up. The proxy does not have anything to do with the cash transactions.
So they would have to come out to Las Vegas or be here again.
They would, or they'd have to be here, on that weekend. They'd have to be here on opening weekend. Obviously, on that opening football weekend, it's probably about 40% of the entries come in, over the last few days.
Yeah.
So we're giving people a little more incentive to be here on that opening weekend.
That's a good wrinkle.
Yeah. Well done. I know you both were excited. Is week 16 like Thanksgiving?
Yes, the Christmas week.
Christmas week, yes.
Christmas
week.
Eve
is a Saturday. There's 11 games.
Right. So what we're
Christmas.
doing, similar to last year, Christmas week is its own week. And the way the split is, because the full slate on a Saturday, which is December 24th, that goes into the first portion of Christmas week. And then the 3 Sunday games on Monday, that's the second part of Christmas week. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Christmas week will be will be considered Christmas Day and the Monday night game.
Yeah.
4 games on that Christmas week.
So that weekend, there are 2 different weeks.
Yes.
For Circa Survivor.
Yep.
So if you survive on Christmas Eve, you got to fire it back up and get your entries in on Sunday for Christmas Day.
Yeah, we were fortunate, getting all the proxies together. We got to see how many of them were Catholic or going to midnight mass, because they're going to have a little bit of a struggle. They got a 9-hour window to get this in.
Actually, what is that like with them? You kick around the idea like, hey, do you guys hate this idea? And if they would say, look, it's impossible, we can't do it, would you say, okay, we got to tinker?
Well, of course. I mean, we want to make sure we do things that work for the proxies. At the same point, the NFL schedule is the NFL schedule, so that's kind of what we got to do.
Very good. So the guarantee again is going to be 6 million. What's your guess? You think? Can you get 6,000 people signed up?
I think we will have somebody go 20-0. We've had the last 2 years we've had undefeated. So I mean, first year we had 35 people went undefeated. Last year we had 5 people go 20-0. That's why we wanted to make it a little bit more difficult. But I think that we will have people go undefeated, because we're certainly hopeful that we get over 6 million.
Yeah, I would think that you're going to get last year 4,100. I think you'll breeze by 5,000 easy.
He made a good point about the travel too.
We're
all the way
probably
back
maybe
now.
breeze. Yep,
we're all the way back.
So that's the Survivor side of things here at Circa Sports. Mike Palm will join us coming up next. The VP here at Circa. He will give you everything that you need to know with the weekly Pick'em contest and Circa Millions coming up next. Mike, before we get into the 5 games against the spread, play the role of Matt Damon and Goodwill Hunting here. Be the janitor. Clean up what Derek missed.
Well, there's just some things in general here. Okay, so you must get your entries in on Saturday, September 10th, if you don't use the Thursday game in either contest, right? Last year, I think we had it up till 2 p.m. and picks in at 3 p.m. When we had our proxy lunch, they said, impossible. It's almost impossible to keep signing people up to noon and get everybody's picks in on that last day. So the deadline's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific to get your entries in either contest, assuming you don't use the Thursday night game. And then the deadline to get the picks in weekly is going to be 4 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. That's the difference. That's an hour later than it's been the past 3 years.
That's on the app. That's in person.
All right.
And I guarantee we're going to get feedback from this, so I have to ask you the question. You guys also have sports books in Iowa and Colorado. What about the contest in those 2 states? Can people sign up there?
The contest is a Nevada contest. We're not running separate contests in those states, so everybody must in person register in the state of Nevada.
Is there a full house promotion? And is it still 9? 3
Yes.
Circa, 6 Survivor.
The maximum in Circa Millions 4 is 3 as it's been, and still 6 in Survivor. So that deal, if you sign up for 9, you get a room here at Circa for 2 nights.
Okay.
And you come out to do that. I have first question here, though, before we get into the...
Second.
What pocket does this fit in? This pocket, I mean, this is the pocket version? I don't just to clear that up. All right.
Mike, you're going to love this. Again, we're seeing this already. You knew that this was going to happen. People are begging on Twitter right now, asking, where can I get a schedule like
They'll
that?
be available in the gift shop.
They will be.
Yeah. As soon as he gets the full order, hopefully they'll be reasonably priced this year. I don't know what it was, $299. I think what are these going to be? $19.99, and the bigger ones $29.90, something like that.
Can you put them on the website, the Circa website? Is that possible?
Dustin had a great idea. How about refrigerator magnets with the schedule on it?
Okay.
I think they would be the most popular.
They might be.
No
Have
doubt.
it right there. You know where it's going to be. Okay, so he hinted at the guarantee now for the point spread pick'em contest, 5 games a week. $6 million?
$6 million. So 6 and 6. We're going up to 12. The Stevens kid did it again. You're wrong again, though. I mean, what about the inflation? I mean, the value of the dollar, gas is $6 a gallon. Now people are going to come and we're going to increase the entries by 50%. I had it last year. I said 4 and 4. We would have nailed it, but we'll see what we can do. Anyhow, $6 million. So what does that mean? It was $4 million last year for this contest, and we got a little above it. So we're going to go deeper. We're going to pay the top 100. Okay, so all the way down to 100 spots. First place still the million. As you go down, 500,000, 400,000. 10th place is 90,000. 20th place is 27,000. 50th place is 12,500, and on down and down the line till our 100th place you get 2,000. Right, 99th's a little more than that. Now the quarters, we're going to pay out 300,000 a quarter. It had been a quarter of a minute, 300,000. We're going 5 deep each quarter. So first place each quarter is 150,000. Second place is 60,000. Third place is 40,000. Fourth place is 15,000, and fifth place is 10. So we had paid top 3. We're paying top 5. We'll continue to have the quarterly booby prize, worst record in the quarter.
Excellent.
25,000, and then yearly we'll have the year Booby prize 100,000, and we're adding half a booby, 50,000.
Wow.
The second worst record.
Wow.
Half a booby added this year.
Very good.
One other point. What if we go over 6 million? Let's say we have 6,400 entries.
Okay.
So we have an extra 400,000. It gets split between the 4 quarterly winners first place, right? So you would take 200,000 and add 50. So every quarter, the first place would be 200,000. And then you take the other 200,000 and split it evenly amongst the top 100. So now last place, instead of being 2,000, would be 4,000 because you're adding 2,000 onto every spot.
Okay, very good. And you said the person who finishes number 100 overall is 2,000.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right. So what if you have 12 people tie for the top 5 in the quarterly?
Then you add them all together, right? So that's the 275,000 and split it 5 ways.
Yeah.
The only tiebreaker ever is for first place in the contest. And then it goes by most weeks at 5, most winning weeks, most weeks 5-0, most weeks 4-0-1, and all that, how we did last year.
Okay, so you're jabbing Derek there a little bit by saying, hey, come on, stick to 4, we would have had it, right? Were you giving him like strong feedback, resistance this year to going to 6 and 6?
No, I think the consensus in the room was 5 and 5, but once again, the consensus of 1. I got to tell you something. Jeff Benson played a key role in helping us this year. He's the one that came up, and I think the best part of this whole thing I love is this: don't use the 2 Super Bowl teams to get the $1 million bonus. I think that's very clever.
That's his baby?
Yeah, he came up with that. He helped us. Many different versions of how you split the money up we had to go through. Jeff's very vocal on Twitter, and I'm critical sometimes. It's a lot of who shot John, but he did a great job putting the contest together.
It's a nice little wrinkle.
It really is.
To Derek's point, like, okay, I mean, what if, like last year, what if the game's meaningless? Brady, Mahomes are not going to play. Now you save the teams for 19 weeks, and then you're going for the $1 million bonus?
That, and it's too easy. I think that's also a factor he didn't mention. I think it's easy to use them in that last week. I think there's much more strategy in planning it out not to use them the whole year.
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got heated during the commercial break. I think I'm picking up what he's putting down with this Bills thing and the Survivor right off the bat. I mean, with what Derek said too about maybe you go double option 3 and 3, but what if you use all 6 on the Bills? You don't use the Rams.
Avoid the Rams.
Mitch has something here, maybe.
Right. You play all 6 on the Bills. You're going to get one of their most difficult games of the year out of the way. Right?
I advocated. I would love that. I like a lot of reentries. We got to get to the guarantee.
And then
great strategy.
Yeah.
Great strategy.
If they lose, then the re-up.
Yeah. Then you re-up. Everybody will be in town with an extra 6 dimes in their pocket. Roll the dice early.
Hey,
Roll the dice early.
Come on, Stafford, let's go.
Derek said about 40% of the people who sign up are here basically for opening weekend, but I would also say that probably gives an edge to the people who live here, right?
Slight edge.
Small edge,
Slight edge. It'll be interesting to see how many people do it. I think last year with the 4,100 entries, and we said how many did the full 6, it was like 358 people did the full 6, right? It's always interesting to me, the dynamic of how people react to the different rules and things like that. So that would be interesting. How many people actually take advantage of that or have to? And do you think, after that Thursday?
So personally, do you think we hit 6,000 signups in each one?
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't know. Here, look, when you look at it, we grew it. We had 1,300 and 4,000, right? So we had 5,300. We grew it to like 8,100 last year. We have to grow it now 50%. We grew it a little more than 50% the year before. If we grow it 50% this year, but you got to get it right too. It's you got to get them even. We'll do it. So I would say I'd bet the yes.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to push for the Survivor. To me, I think is going to be limitless. I really think that you guys can get that to 10, 12, 15,000 people at some point.
I think at some point there'll be 20,000 people.
I don't disagree.
I do. In the next 5 years.
Yep. He's already complaining about the Thanksgiving schedule, but boy, here things have changed in a year. Remember how tough it was last year?
Yeah,
You got Bills, Lions, and Giants, Cowboys. Imagine what these things are looking like. The big point spreads we're going to use.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to thank you guys, Stormy, Sean King, Amal, all the work you guys did with the commercial. And the answer to the question, the new commercial, it's ready.
Okay. I want to see this. I want Paulie's bitching to end.
I want to give a little behind. I want to give a little behind the scenes.
You want it afterwards?
Yeah, let's run it.
Let's fire it up. Here we go. The national commercial for the contest.
What's the guarantee?
What's the guarantee?
Hey, Derek! What's the guarantee?
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back with $12 million in guaranteed prizes. There's 2 ways to win, and there's no rake. The Circa Millions with quarterly payouts and 100% payback.
Play Circa Survivor. Select one team each week with no point spreads. Take in the big cash with $12 million in guaranteed prizes.
Very good.
All right.
You got a line.
Yeah, finally, at the
I think
very
you had a
end.
line.
Yeah, that's fine. First of all, the degree of difficulty of Mitch's scene in the first one, timing that escalator to come down, timing the look. I mean, he nailed it so many times. They just kept doing it. People would come into the shot. The truth here with Paul Howard is, obviously, the title of the commercial is "What's the Guarantee?" 5 times, Mitch. 5 times he said, "How much is the guarantee?"
That's what the script said.
What script?
She had to be a script. I didn't know
How
what I was
much is
going.
the
Yeah. Mr. Yeah.
cut? Unreal.
Mr. Hollywood, right?
Mr.
Hollywood Paul
Bright
Howard.
lights.
Can't
Bright
carry
lights,
Ocean's 11.
Come on.
Yeah.
Bright
Should
lights.
have let me ad lib. But I mean, it said the script.
You were
said-
ad-libbing, evidently.
Took an act of God to get that in there. The first 4 versions of this didn't have that.
Oh, boy.
Featured them all with the Dell.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
nailed. There it
All
is.
right.
There's Bobby De Niro coming down. Yeah, there he is.
There,
He nailed-
Look at that.
young
It's all
Leonardo
good.
DiCaprio.
Good, yeah.
Good-looking fellow right there. Fellas, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank
That's
you
great.
very much.
We may talk about this again.
Sign-ups begin when?
Sign-ups begin today at noon Pacific.
Damn, had to get that in there. Okay.
Bury the lead.
All right. Thank you.